Hello. Get ready for a big one. I updated almost all of these levels. I'll get to advanced mode later. I'm gonna have to redo the entire level for those. And for those who haven't seen these two, which hopefully many of you will record these two, starting with this one. Keep in mind most of these were made before filters, so the majority of the changes were those. Next one is Black Hole Sway. I actually don't think I changed this one. I'm kind of happy with how it is. Hopefully this one looks even better. I'm pretty sure the only thing I did to this next one is add a filter and get rid of things I was unhappy with. Same deal with this one, I'm still pretty uninspired with it. So yeah, that's the levels.